Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be sharing my breastfeeding story. Also, I'm going to be sharing some products that I think are great if you are going to be a nursing mom or if you're just looking for some products to use and are already a nursing mom. So if you want to hear my story and my products, just keep watching. Okay, so first let's start off. I have two boys. My oldest is 3.5 and my youngest is 3 months. The first time around, it was difficult for me to breastfeed. I did try and I lasted for about 6 weeks and it was just difficult. One, I have ginormous boobs and that makes it so much harder. I feel like the odds are against you if you have big boobs. I also have a slightly flat nipple, which is pretty gross to talk about, but if you're watching this then you know what we're going to be talking about. So it was just complicated. It was hard for me to breastfeeding, and I just ended up giving him more and more bottles until he was on the bottle completely and would never go back to the boob. So when I got pregnant the second time around, I knew that I wanted to try harder to breastfeed. And I knew it was going to be challenging, but I was like determined to do it. So while I was pregnant, I kept on going on Kelly's Mom and just doing research on what I can do to, one, help my flat nipple, and two, just to feel more confident breastfeeding my baby, because it is hard, and I learned that the first time around, how hard it can be. So I ended up having an unmedicated birth with my second son, not by choice, because it went so quickly, and it was like the fastest birth I could ever have imagined I'd have, and I ended up not being able to get the epidural. So afterwards, it was different than when I had Bobby, because you know, I was in more pain and I could feel more than when the epidural is just wearing off. So with my first, I did not have skin-to-skin contact right away. I did not know that it was something that I should be doing or that I even wanted to do. They just wrapped them up and handed them to me, and that's how I took them, and we never did skin-to-skin contact. So I started breastfeeding him in the hospital, and that's when I had some issues, so I ended up giving him little bits of formula, but when you're in the hospital, the baby, like, barely eats, like nothing. Maybe the whole time you'll be there, he'll eat maybe an ounce or two. So I wasn't really trying as hard as I should in the hospital. So when I came home, I just wasn't trying that hard. I was younger. It was like all so new. I felt self-conscious because I have these ginormous boobs. I thought that I was going to suffocate my brand new baby boy. The size of his head next to me was just like crazy. But I'm pretty proud of myself that I lasted the 6 weeks that I did. So when I had Quincy, I knew right away that I wanted to do skin-to-skin contact, and I made that. I didn't have a birth plan because I try not to plan things, but I made it very clear, even though it was crazy in the hospital because I got there so late. I made it clear that I wanted to have skin-to-skin contact with him and tried to initiate the breastfeeding process. So he came out, and it was crazy, and probably 10 minutes after we had skin-to-skin contact, and I tried to start breastfeeding. And again, I had the same issues. He wouldn't latch. It was hard for him to get him on the boob, and I just kept on trying and trying. But I knew that I was determined, so I brought my Nipple Shield with me. At my first hospital, they didn't give me one. At this second hospital with Quincy, they did give me one. So this is, I'm just going to show you guys, this is a Nipple Shield. It's kind of a little stanky-danky. But yeah, it just goes over your breast. It assists in the latch. If your baby does not want to latch or can't latch, this will help them get the latch and start the sucking motion. So when we were in the hospital, we started using the Nipple Shield, and he latched on fine, and he was a great eater, and he ate. And of course I had these worries, like, is he getting enough food, because he just doesn't eat, and he was sleeping all the time in the hospital, and I was still so nervous and wanted to make sure that he was eating. When we came home, I was breastfeeding exclusively with the Nipple Shield, and he was great at eating. He liked to eat, and he liked to eat at the breast. So I just went with it. I think it was like about, I don't know when it was, maybe 6 weeks old. I'm not sure exactly how old he was. He probably like about 6 weeks old. One day he was just crying. and he would not take the breast at all. No nipple shield. Every time I would try to give it to him, he would spit it out and bleh, bleh, and he just would not take it. So I ended up getting so frustrated, and I was like, what is going on with this little boy? So that day I ended up giving him formula, and I was pumping and trying just to, you know, make sure my supply was fine. And I was giving him the pumped milk, but of course it wasn't that. So around 6 weeks, he just decided he did not want to take the boob. Every time I would try to put him on, he would spit it out and make the bleh face and not want it, and he would not latch, and I just would keep trying and trying and trying, and he wanted nothing to do with the boob. So the next day I was like, what is going on with my baby? Like, why is he acting like this? So in the morning, it was just him and I sat down and I set up my station, my Mombo. I got him on, and I just gave him the breast, just the breast, no nipple shield, which I was trying to do before, but he would no. He would absolutely no. Hold up, this is not the nipple shield. So this day, the day that I did this, he ended up taking the boob, and he has taken the boob ever since with no nipple shield on his own from 6 weeks old. I could not believe that was probably what it was. Like, he did not want anything to do with the nipple shield. So when I started giving him just the breast, I noticed that my supply was like all wonky, like he was crying and still hungry afterwards. So even though breastfeeding is going great now, or it's going well now, I feel like I might not be producing enough milk for him. So what I have done is I took fenugreek for a couple of days and really didn't notice a difference. So I went and I tried the More Mothers Plus, and this is a mix of fenugreek, blessed thistle, nettle herb, fennel seed, and then of course there's alcohol. Using this and changing up my diet. He is still breastfeeding. He is 3 months old, and it is going well. And if tomorrow he ended up not wanting to breastfeed and wanted to take a bottle, I would try to pump, and if I couldn't, I would formula feed, because I'm like so proud of myself that I've lasted 3 months with all the issues that I had, and you know, with having this natural birth and healing up afterwards and still being able to breastfeed my baby, and I'm like super proud of myself. But he enjoys it, and I think that that's what the difference between Bobby and Quincy is. Bobby wasn't big on the breast. Quincy is a mama's boy. He likes to be close to his mom. He likes to be on his mom, so he enjoys breastfeeding. So as long as he enjoys it, that's him over there. That's him over there. You okay? As long as he enjoys it, I'm going to try to continue to breastfeed. When I was trying to get my supply up, I was taking the More Mother's Love, More Milk Plus, as well as pumping. I was trying to pump as much as I possibly could just to get my supply going. So after he would eat, I would pump. If he would sleep longer than 2 hours and it was time to feed, I would pump. I was just trying to pump and pump and pump. And my mother actually took my oldest, and for that weekend, we just breastfed, pumped, and drank a little bit of this. So yeah, we were on like a breastfeeding vacation. That's all we did was breastfeeding, and I feel like I have gotten my supply back up. I don't pump as much as I wish I could, just because I guess I'm breastfeeding more often. But I love it. But I'm also not one of those people that's, you have to breastfeed. Yes, you should breastfeed. Breastfeeding is best for baby. The bond is like no other. But if you can't, don't be hard on yourself, because it can be frustrating. You have to know all these tips and tricks and drink water and eat this and don't eat that. It's like complicated. One, being a mom, and two, being a breastfeeding mom. So if you can't do it, please don't be hard on yourself, because it is hard, and it is hard work every day. So props to the moms that are feeding their babies for 15, 16 months. I don't know how you do it, but that is commitment and dedication, and that is to be applauded. So So I just wanted to share some of the things that I use as a breastfeeding mom that help with nursing. So I've talked about the Nipple Shield. This is great if you have sore nipples, if you have flat nipples, if you have semi-flat nipples. And let me tell you, breastfeeding changes your nipple. If you think your nipple is flat, oh, don't worry, they will change that. And it is crazy how that changes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is sick. I have sick nursing nipples now, which I didn't have from Bobby, so I knew I was probably just doing something wrong. So I highly recommend this. You could also use the shell, which helps draw out the nipple. I have not used that, but I did look into it. I highly suggest checking out Kelly's Mom. They are a great website that helps with breastfeeding questions and tips and tricks and pumping and all of that kind of stuff. So highly suggest the Nipple Shield. If you're having milk supply issues, drink a ton of water. Eat raw oats. I know a lot of people say it's oatmeal, but it's actually like the raw steel oats that what helps with the breast milk. Try the fenugreek, and yeah, try those. I would suggest this probably. It's a little bit expensive. This is a 2-ounce bottle, and I was like $17 on Amazon. This is the pump that I use, and I'm not exactly sure the actual name. The name says Advanced Personal Double Breast Pump, and it's by Medela, and it actually was provided by my insurance. And I know a lot of people are aware of this, but if you are a new mom or a younger mom, your insurance with Obamacare now provides a breast pump, and you just have to contact them. All you have to do is when you find out that you're pregnant, give them a call, and they will tell you the steps that you need to follow to get the breast pump. This was sent to me 2 days after I got home with my son, and it was free. It was just part of your insurance, which is awesome, because when I had Bobby, I ended up getting one later, but in the beginning I was using this manual pump that you had to squeeze like this, and my hands had cramps. It was terrible. But yeah, it comes with the zipper part where you can keep it frozen, the cooler part, and then the extra supplies. I don't have it all set up with the cords and everything because it can be a pain in the butt. And next, the most important thing for me as well for nursing is this boppy, but I have the Mombo, and the Mombo is by Bright Stars. It has a hard, one side is firm, which is great for nursing, and the other side is softer, which is great for relaxing. I always put Quincy on there, and he sits and hangs out and chills out. But with Bobby, I didn't have one of those, and I think that was the major issue too. I just place him on the firm side, and he's high enough. I can show you. In this clip, guys, I'm showing you the firm side of the Mombo, and next I'll be showing you how to use it with Quincy. Yeah, so you want him to be up high in this position, if this is the position that you're using, so that he's up high enough that you're not hurting your back, you're not struggling, and he can, he can get to the boob. And if all else fails, check out your La Leche League. And they have a website, and they have them all over the country, and they are just so informative and so helpful. They have lactation consultants come out, and they will call you and give you the advice that you need if you're not sure on what you're doing. Other than that, I'm still going strong at 3 months, and I hope to continue to, a year. If not, that's understandable. 6 months would be fine. But we will start solids probably like around 4 to 6 months. This time I'm hoping to do baby-led weaning instead of making the purees like I did for Bobby. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear if you're breastfeeding, formula feeding, pumping, what you're doing to feed your baby, or if you're pregnant, if you're going to breastfeed or bottle feed, whatever. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, guys. Bye. You want to say bye, Quincy? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.